Alright, hey everyone. So, now that I'm back from my 2 weekends away, hopefully this stream will go alright. And what I was planning to do today is, well, aside from, creating this, basic, extremely simple kind of drag and drop few items in this level, um, is also this. So let me just play it and you'll see what's going on. So the dude is going to a tag point that's in an elevator, and then the elevator kicks off, brings him to the second floor. He exits and then follows the navigation. Well, not the navigation, but is heading off to a second tag point. So that's pretty much it. It's once you've done it, it actually seems pretty simple, and you'll see it's actually really simple. I've learned a couple of things along the way. Hopefully those will definitely be helpful for me. Hopefully they'll help you out as well. Okay, so let's get started. What I'll do is start off and create a new level. So I start from scratch. What I'm using here is the game SDK project. It already has the AI character in place, all the animations they need. So yeah, we'll see later on. Hopefully, I'll be able to do using one of the templates to do something like this. We'll see. Okay, so let's call this AI follow flow graph, and hit OK. There we have it. Just an empty level. Okay, I'm gonna just drag in some of these items that I've used for the other asset, or for the other level, and I'll start off with that hanger. I'm using this just because I mean, I could have done it like in the video, but it was, a little bit, too barren, so I thought this might, make it look a little better. Okay, there's the hanger. Let's turn on our GI settings. There we go, make it look a little better. Still a little dark, so let's turn up the lighting in here, at least for the time being. Okay, so a few things that I'm still gonna need is I need to bring in my elevator, and for that you need to go under entity and elevator. There we go, we'll just place this right here. And the other thing that I had was the little walkway. So we'll give our grunt or dude, whatever you want to call it, the AI element. We want to give him a little bit of a more interesting path. So let's go turn down the music a little bit. Hopefully that's not too loud. Alright, so let's bring in, what else do we need? We have the elevator. Let's bring in those walkways. So let's do this long item, this long one here. And I'm going to try and place it to about the entrance of the elevator so that when it slides up, you know, it looks natural. And kind of bring this up. Yeah, there's a bar right here, but hey, we'll try and make it work. And then the steps from, I think it's called step, or stair. Huh, what was the name of that? Let's look into walkway again. Props industrial walkway. Let's see, props industrial walkway, and it was stairs, but I don't know why it didn't come up in the first search. Let's bring this down here so when we put in the navigation mesh, it will know to connect between these two and follow along. Okay, there's that. It's that bit. Okay, so we have pretty much everything that we need as far as where the player will go. Now let's do a navigation mesh. So AI, navigation area. Sorry, I might have called it navigation mesh, but it's a navigation area. Okay, so I'll turn off this this grid so that it snaps a little better, you know, kind of along the building, and mostly just around the area that I need my player to go into. As far as I know, these navigation meshes are pretty taxing, so you might want to try and keep it contained. And double click to end. As you can tell, mine is not perfect. It's not really square, but what we need to see is that where our dude is gonna go, it's all covered in this bluish color, so everywhere in these blue areas the AI will be able to go. So let's bring that guy in, and we'll go again to entity, and in here we look for AI and characters, and we bring in the human. So if I was to, and apparently it's already on the test mode here, so I can direct this guy to go, if I click the middle mouse button, he will go within this navigation area, of course, to wherever I click. So let's add the tag points. Go on the AI, and we have a tag point. There's one here. It's going to be in the elevator. And let me bring this back down so that we can move him around. Okay, so there's one. What I can do, I can duplicate this, but I'll just bring another one in. If you hit Control Shift, you can snap it. Control Shift and click, you can snap it to a surface. So in my case, I want his final destination, so to speak, to be here on this platform. Okay, so we're done. No, I'm joking. One thing that I need to do, and I mean that I want to do, is say maybe you want this guy to do kind of a patrol thing between this point and that point. But if the elevator is going to be on the second floor, then you know this tag point is going to be down here. So what I'm going to do is link this tag point to the elevator. So when the elevator travels up, the tag point goes along with it. So using this little link icon here, and what I'm doing is I'm keeping let's see. So as you can see, it says link objects. So from the tag point, I don't know if you can tell, but there's like this line. Them being on the floor is kind of, let me just do this. I'll bring this tag point up a little bit. Maybe not that much. Turn off the grid so you can get an idea. Right now what happened is I accidentally linked it to the building, to the hangar. So I'll go ahead and unlink that. So you can see that line disappeared. So let's link this tag point to the elevator. So again, the link, and there's our line, and if you hold down space, you'll be able to see what you're linking to. So in my case, I'm going to link it to the elevator. So now, for example, if I grab the elevator and move it up and down, as you can see, that tag point travels along with it. Okay, so with that said, as far as the items that we need, we're pretty much there. So one last thing that we need to bring in is Flograph. So let's go to Entity and Default, Flograph Entity. We'll place it maybe a little bit to the side right there. Okay, there's our Flograph. Right click on it, create Flograph, and we'll call it AI follow path. Okay, always remember to save. It's Cryengine, so it has a tendency of crashing sometimes. Alright, there's our Flograph. So what I'll do, I'll just I'll probably put it, let's see, maybe I can put it to the side. No, I'll put it in the middle because the window is pretty small already. Okay, so first step that we need to do is we need to tell the dude to go to this tag point. Once it reaches the tag point, the elevator will go up. Once the movement of the elevator stops, it will go to the second tag point. Okay, let's go to our Flograph. And in here we need to add a few nodes. So you can either hit Q and then do NT and come on, entity ID. So this way we can target our items a little easier. So let's go to perspective view, and we want to start with our human, and we'll assign the selected entity. And let's copy this and paste it a couple of times. And so these will be our tag points. So actually, let's just do the first one. Let's go back to perspective and select our tag point, the first one, and let's see, I'll assign it here. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to tell the dude to move from its current position to the position of this tag point. So let's get the position of the tag point. There we go. And we want to get it. Now this is up to you, but to my kind of limited knowledge of Flograph, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in a game start node. So upon begin, I want to get the output. This can be done, I mean, if you're doing a game, probably when you enter a trigger area, you can initiate the patrol of the dude. So you enter a town, so to speak, or a building. You don't want that guy to be roaming around like and throwing all these position variables around. So once you enter that trigger area, that's when you can probably trigger this dude to start patrolling. So it's entirely up to you. Okay, so we're getting the position. Now we want to move this guy onto that position. So let's add a, and this has always kind of troubled me as far as finding it. So we want to move to, but it's kind of weird because it's placed, I believe, under movement or not. Let's see, where was this placed? It's move, so it's under AI sequence, which is kind of, I guess it's a good place to put it. Okay, so first of all, we want to choose the entity, which is our human, and another thing that we need to do here is, and this was kind of weird to me when I first did this the first time, is that we need to add another AI sequence to start. So, and both of these needs to be filled out, like as far as the entity. Okay, so this needs to start again. We'll do on start game. And so this command, it will tell our human to move to this position. So hopefully, once we run this, let's hope it will work. And this guy is gonna head on here. So let's give it a test. And there we go. He's valiantly heading into danger. Okay, so he reached the tag point. Good. Now what we need to do is tell the elevator to move onto the second floor. So if I was to select the elevator, and let's go to properties, where is it, properties, there we go. So under properties, you'll see that the destination floor is set to 1. But you might want to have this thing move, hey Loggy, you might want to have this thing move between multiple floors, so you have to have a way to control this property. So again, Flograph to the rescue. And first of all, we need to add the elevator as well. So let's do another entity ID. And I believe I have it selected already, so let's assign elevator. There we go. So let's see if I can make this a little bigger. So in order for us to set what floor the elevator is supposed to go to, we need to get that property. So let's do another Q to search, and let's do property get. But at this point, since we're only moving it to the second floor, or the first floor on the European side, US is, first floor is kind of ground floor. Well, Loggy, so here is the Flograph in all its glory. So as I was saying, we need to set the property. So if I type in property or just proper and then hit tab a couple of times or just once, you see the property set. So yeah, thanks. It's actually very useful once you get the hang of it. Okay, so we need to get the property of our elevator, and if you click on property here, the problem is it's a little bit you can't really tell so well, but if you click down here, you'll get a little icon that you can tap into the property of that object. So we want to set the property for the destination floor. So let's get the destination floor, and we'll set the value to 1. So that's our destination floor. Upon entering, we want, so basically when the movement is completed, and in here, in order to close this kind of loop, I would call it, but you want to add another AI sequence end. So again, we assigned I wish at this point that the lines would be more like Unreal, where you can add a little break and then kind of make them a little bit more organized. Maybe there's a way, I don't know. Okay, so when the AI sequence move is complete, so the dude is in the elevator, we end it, and then we want the elevator to start moving up. So in order to do that, let's see, how do we do that? So let's select the elevator, and in this case we can actually right click and add the selected entity. Okay, so let's see. What we want to do is have this start moving up. So upon done, let's head on up. And let's see, we want to, for this guy to also know what floor to go to. So let's see, I think I might need to cheat a little bit. And where was it? Okay, so I mean, this part here could have been done, you know, linking it through the ID, like so. And I think I might want to do it that way. Let's just link it like so. So this way it's a little cleaner. So we use these entity IDs a little more. Okay, so hopefully now that we set the property for this specific entity ID, and now that on done we're telling it to go up, let's see if that actually happens. So let's play again. So hopefully once he enters the elevator, finishes its movement, this thing would start sliding up. And as you can see, linking the tag point means that the tag point travels up with him. So now that he's reached the second floor, as you can see, the navigation area updates itself, and he can also follow it along onto the second tag point. So let's do that. Going back to Flograph, let's follow up with the second tag point. So I'm just trying to clean this up a little bit. We'll get the second tag point. I'll just paste it down here. And let's select it, tag point 2, and assign the selected entity, tag point 2. So basically what we need to do now is just copy some of these. So copy the start, the move, the end, as well as the get position for that tag point. So just Control C, Control V, there we have them down here. Just select them all and move them. Okay, so we want to get the position of the second tag point. And we can probably get this position upon stopped sliding up. So once the elevator has reached its resting position, we'll just get the position of the second tag point. And at the same time, when the sliding stopped, we'll drag one down here to start the second movement, the second AI sequence. Also remember to plug in the entity ID into these AI sequence nodes. And this is the part where it gets a little cluttered. I haven't worked as much with, you know, kind of positioning these a little better, so hopefully you guys can tell what's happening. Okay, so once this AI sequence starts, we'll link it to actually start the movement, and then upon done, just end the sequence. And we want to, you know, from to get the entity position of the second tag point. So let's grab the position and drag it into position. So here we go. Hopefully Hopefully you can view it a little better. I just save this. So now, hopefully, once we go into here, our human will go to the first tag point, elevator will go up, and then follow along to the second tag point. So let's run physics. So off he goes into the elevator, elevator goes up, and nothing happens. Oh, that's weird. He does not get off the elevator. Maybe he's afraid. Let's turn this off and see what went wrong. So the thing that went wrong was, as you can tell, I was a little bit zoomed out when I was dragging those connector lines. So instead of doing the stop sliding up, I did the stop sliding down. So into start. So let's remove this link and just hover over those little circle and remove. So actually, let's see if we can grab the proper one. So it stops sliding up. We want to start the sequence. So let's go at it again. Alright, so the guy is heading over the elevator. He's getting into the elevator. The elevator goes up, and it stops sliding up. So then the guy follows along its merry path onto the second tag point. There we go. So another thing that that I had set up in the previous video, and let's just move this guy a little closer to our tag point so he doesn't have to travel so much. What I've set up was I've added another camera that was linked to the human. So let's add that. And that is miscellaneous, and we'll add a camera. So right now we'll place it somewhere just behind him above his head. The first time I did this was linking these two. I was very confused because there's once you link it, and I'll show you. So let's grab this little link icon and drag from camera, and this is where you can do it over the little icon, or again if you press space you can do it over its pivot point. So let's link it to human. So once you link it, you'll see probably what it is, all the bones in that character. So I was looking kind of feverishly for a root bone, and well, something called root, but there's none, or at least none that I could find. So what I ended up doing was I went through a couple of these guys. I thought maybe head or calf or maybe any of those would look nice, but none of them really did. So I ended up, after doing a little bit of testing, camera didn't work. So I chose BIP01, which apparently is the root bone. So now if I switch from my camera over to camera 1, you'll see where this one is positioned. And let's go ahead and hit play. So now the camera is following our player along. He gets into the elevator. Again, elevator goes up. And then he exits, goes down the stairs, and onto his final destination. Okay, so that was, let's switch back onto our default camera. So that was pretty much it as far as the Flograph goes for doing this type of action. And what I'm hoping to do eventually is have this thing happen for, at least for my project, have this thing happen to like a little, kind of a wild critter type of animal that you can, set a snare, a trap, and once he enters that trap, which is probably going to be a trigger, set the state of that little critter to dead, and then you can, eat it and get nourishment. But that's in the future. So that is pretty much it as far as the Flograph. What I had in the video was a little bit, kind of just dressed up a little bit. Had let's update geometry here, and had a little bit of a different lighting, just looking a little bit more interesting. That was the only difference that I had in the other video, and that's that's easily doable. It's you can just create, if you look for, in my case, elevator, you can grab a door, an entrance. So in my case, let's bring an entrance in here. And this would be if you have kind of a multi-story type building, and the guy needs to be going around. So there's that. And as far as the walls of the elevator, let's try and position this like it's supposed to, which is about there. And the walls I've done using Designer, which again is pretty easy to use, and I actually find it a lot of people are not very happy with the investment that Crytek might have done to create this Designer tool, but I do find it useful. I mean, it's maybe they could have done something else with that time, but for somebody that, for example, does not want to get into Blender or Max or Maya or any of these modeling softwares, you can very easily create things with using the Designer. So let's throw in a quick material onto this. I'm going to try and look for some concrete, and or not concrete, but I can't remember what the name of it was. Maybe like a brick. Alright, we'll do something like that. So that way, once you enter the elevator, you have a kind of a like you've seen in other games where you when you ride an elevator, you have those the nice walls, and they kind of go by you as you climb up. So in here you can probably do something interesting, like maybe throw a decal. Like that. Oops, I don't want that. Hopefully I still have something to, maybe I don't. I was trying to look for some kind of texture to put on that. but apparently I can't find any. So, but hopefully you get the idea. You know, it could be some, you know, graffiti, or you know, some kind of, you know, like a crack in the wall. That would be something interesting, I guess. So, let's give this thing another test and see. Hopefully, it looks a little better. Yeah, I know there's like gaps in between this, but like I said, you know, this was something done, you know, real quick. So, let's do something here. One thing that you can do, if you do the, right now the camera movement is locked, so if you unzip that, you can probably position the camera maybe a little bit over his shoulder like that. So now when you hit play, camera's going to be a little bit closer to him and not just right on top of his head. So there you go, he's just marching around. To his final spot. So there we go. That was pretty much it. I was actually pretty happy once I got this running. You know, um, coming from very little experience with Flograph, and you know, actually getting something useful done here. So I hope you guys got something out of the stream. I will be posting the recording later on, probably this following week on YouTube, and put that link onto the Facebook page. So if you want to have a look at it later on, please feel free to do, you know, comment, or you know, you can ask me about it. Alright guys, again, thanks so much for those of you that stopped by, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully I have something new. Alright, you guys have a great week. Take care.